Perfect. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a little bit of what the message and the energy is of today. And then from there, we will begin with kind of our ceremony, our spiritual practice. And we will go through what we're here to do today. So with that in mind, we've got two meditations going today. One is, I like to call it kind of our healing space and, our healing meditation. And so that is to kind of just remove anything that's been brought up, get rid of some of the gunk. I personally find that I can't always transition right into ceremony space, and anyone can in a way, but I think it's helpful to like take a minute. And I also think it's useful to kind of reintegrate your energy when you're in these kind of harmonious moments. And I think it really allows for a new way and a new perspective in connection with yourself, because you're really kind of pulling from the higher into the lower minds in a way that I find is very useful. So we'll do that, and then we'll take a break. I truly believe in breaks. I used to even do 3 breaks in these sessions. To those who have been here for a while, you might remember, but I think 1 for now is okay. And then what we'll do is we'll go into our ceremony today. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what we'll be doing in this ceremony as I give my explanation for the moment. But just the briefest explanation is that we will be connecting with pagan gods and kind of doing the descent journey ourselves, as with Persephone and Ishtar of the Babylonian tradition. So I know there are folks who share that they're from all walks of life. I invite you to walk with me in sort of this wisdom that I'm pulling from. And if your guides are someone else who wants to support you or join you, call them in today, because I'm not here to tell you to worship anyone. I'm only here to provide kind of the template for you to do your work and to help guide you. So I really look forward to sharing that with you today. So let's talk a little bit about what we're kind of actually working on and why we're here, which is the autumn equinox. Now, the equinox is a very special moment in time. It's the solar equinox, right? A moment in time when the sun is kind of crossing the Earth's equator. And it usually only happens twice a year. I mean, it actually only happens twice a year. I do love the idea that it might happen more than once, but in this case, it's not going to. But it happens in the sort of 20th-ish of March and kind of the 22nd-ish of September. And depending on where you are, Northern Hemisphere or Southern Hemisphere, it's going to be different. So I'm living in the Northern Hemisphere. I am currently in Connecticut, which is Pequot, Pawcasset, and Connecticut territory. But I'll be moving back to Algonquin and kind of Lenape land, hopefully very soon, fingers crossed on that. But so for me, that means that right now it's the autumn equinox. However, for anyone who might be in the Southern Hemisphere, wherever that you're watching this, it might be the spring equinox for you. And then it switches based on your hemisphere. So what this means is that while the Earth is rotating, there's a moment in which the Earth is kind of perfectly aligned and is not in any way sort of tilting towards the sun. It's a moment in which kind of everything at like the galactic level fully comes into harmony. And because it's space and things move kind of slowly, we have this window, which is from the 20th all the way to the 27th, to feel the full effect. But the heart of it is really right now on the 22nd, and it's actually going to happen at 9:04. So we might even still be in ceremony at that time. Sometimes I do go over. We'll see how it goes. But I'm hoping we'll be finished by then. But if not, we might actually still be in space at that moment when it fully kind of aligns. So what does this mean kind of intuitively and spiritually? Well, at this stage, it is kind of a turning point in our astrological year. And it's an opportunity to begin the shifting that is already happening around us and kind of internalize it and allow it to change and evolve us. because with each equinox is also the marking of a new season, right? We are officially in autumn, technically, but now is when the colder months are coming, and eventually we'll be moving into full winter. So this kind of time of summery abundance, of harvest, is now changing to kind of the final harvest of the pumpkins and the gourds and these sort of very hardy vegetables. And so with that is this sacredness that is this kind of time when the veil is lifting and we are actually here watching the doorways open, the doorways between the seasons, the doorways between the galactic bodies. And it might be easier than normal to kind of connect to that energy grid that's being created around us, that is being created as we come into alignment with the sun, as we come into alignment with the seasons change. All of these things are really kind of being felt vibrationally more deeply than any other time. And I think what's really exciting too is after this equinox and this new moon in Libra, which is on Sunday, and you're welcome to join if you'd like to as well, we are actually going to be in eclipse season. So I feel like with this retrograde season and with this equinox and moving into eclipse season, now is the time for transformation. And as I said last winter, winter is really a time of sleep and of rest and of dream. One of my favorite gatherings that I did when I was a student was dream time, and we'd all have basically a sleepover and we'd drum to each other all night. I'm not sure if, I know sometimes one of my teachers kind of comes through, but I'll never forget that one of my teachers, his name was Uncle Henry, and he actually like fell asleep, and he's kind of bear medicine, and it sounded like there was a bear in the room, and it was like so deeply it was just perfect. It was like we were all in the cave doing our winter dream time. So I think that energy is very much coming to us, that time of sacred rest, and taking it because we all deserve it. And now is this time before we move into sacred rest in which we're kind of preparing for it. These are the last steps and kind of closing all of the loops. And for me, with my solar return, I think this has been a year, this past year has been so different from the ones previously. And I think that there's a lot of transition in this time, but I also feel like this is going to be a very powerful year to come. I think that there's so much that's opening for us, a lot of joy, a lot of kind of changes in relations. Everything is moving into the balance, and how perfect to also be pulling that with this equinox, allowing all of this kind of balancing energy to be our greatest teacher so that we can thrive and grow and magically be where we want to be. So that is, I think, the main thing to think about. Beyond that, I wanted to talk a little bit about the mythology that we'll be working with and kind of the folk stories, because I don't want to talk for too long. I want to get started. So we'll be working with two deities, or two sets of deities today, speaking of balance. Persephone and Hades, which is from the Greek myth, and Dumuzi and Ishtar, who are from Babylon. And Persephone and Hades, you might have heard the name Persephone. Persephone was the Greek goddess of the springtime. And so, Hades found her and kidnapped her, and basically, and took her down into the underworld. And she was more or less tricked that she could never be free in a way, and that she would have to spend at least 2 seasons out of the 4 in the underground, in the underworld. And so as we're doing our fall equinox, Persephone is actually currently going down now to meet her husband, for better or worse, and is leaving us with these past spring and summer moments as kind of the memory of her presence with us. So we will be moving with her today, and then saying goodbye and leaving her behind. On the other hand, we've got Ishtar and Dumuzi. And Dumuzi, I love Ishtar, and she's here with me today. This is actually kind of a funny relief, because it's either Ishtar or her sister Ereshkigal, and we'll be working with both of them. So I thought, why not bring it out? So basically the story in Babylon, which is the older story, Ishtar goes down to the underworld to visit her sister, and her sister is just in a bad mood and basically said, I don't want Ishtar to go back. I want her to live in the underworld forever and basically become a non-living person. And so Ishtar eventually basically tries to gather for herself aid and asks her kind of spiritual allies to bring someone. And they go far and wide, and they see that Ishtar's husband, Dumuzi, who is the god of shepherding and the god of farming, is kind of partying it up and not that sad that his wife is missing. And so she says, get my husband. And so Ishtar trades her husband for herself. And Dumuzi is the one who is then basically fated to spend 2 seasons in the underworld and 2 seasons above to bring the abundance. And the one thing that's kind of fun about the Babylonian, I suppose you should say, situation or example, is that in Dumuzi's case, he actually brings the rainy season, which is wintertime in Iraq. And so Dumuzi is actually going to be leaving the underworld right now, and he's going to be coming out with us. So that is what our ceremony will be today, is going in with Persephone and leaving with Dumuzi. And as I said, we'll begin with our healing. And then what we'll do is we will kind of move up and out of the room and then go out and work with these energies. And I will be talking about them throughout the ceremony, so I'll be keeping them in mind for you. Work with whoever you'd like to work with. However, we'll be calling in your allies too. So be sure that you work with who you feel comfortable with. And if you're feeling uncomfortable and you want to kind of think about why, invite yourself to say, like, why does this make me uncomfortable? For some, it might be that there's memories to be kind of unpacked. And for others, it might be, maybe there's certain, maybe it's about kind of opening your mind to new experiences. All right. So without further ado, I would say, let's begin the music, please, to my production director, and we will get started. And again, if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask at any time. And while we're getting ready, oh, someone turned on the camera. It's okay. And perfect. Now go ahead and get into a comfortable position, and we'll begin. All right, everyone. Getting into your place now of meditation. We're coming together and we'll begin with the breath. Allowing our breath to fall kind of naturally and taking a quiet moment for ourselves. Now we'll begin a more mindful breath, breathing to the count of 9, and I will guide you through this process. Beginning breathing in 9, And breathing out 9. Breathing in 9. And breathing out 9. We'll do 2 more here. Breathing in 9. And breathing out 9. Breathing this with this final breath. What we will do is breathe in fully from the bottom of our feet to the top of our head, really pulling everything together. And then when I say go, what we'll do is we'll breathe it all out. Just a full release. I see some questions in the chat. I will be happy to answer them in the second chat, in the break, as that's relevant to the second meditation. So to start, we'll do our final breath now together, breathing in 9, breathing in everything. And release 9. Perfect. Return to center, and now allow for your breath to exist simply again as it did before. We're starting to allow ourselves to feel our energy shift and change with the breath. How does our energy rise when we breathe in? And how does our energy fall when we breathe out? We allow our energy and our breath to become one, so that when we breathe out, we expand, and when we breathe in, we contract. We are falling back in touch with a warm feeling of knowing the self and being comfortable with the self. We are coming into harmony and balance now with the many selves. The selves who are at work or at school, the selves who are at home, the selves who are with friends and with relations. As we're awakening an awareness through this breath and through this expansion, this contraction, we are also coming into harmony at center, at our heart and our spine. We breathe in, we contract, we breathe out, we expand. And through this, we are welcoming in as well a recognition of the inner beauty and the outer beauty. We are feeling cozier and calmer. We are welcoming in a slow, dreamy sweetness and radiating pure love and pure peace. We are coming closer to the magic of the self. And giving that magic to ourselves. And we allow this magic now to live within our body, bringing in comfort to the joints, to the spine, to the sacrum, to the stomach. to our roots, to our branches, our legs, our arms. Allowing the magic to flow completely through your 4 elements, your earth, your air, your fire, and your waters. And as we move with the magic, our intentions, our thoughts are changing. We're welcoming in boundaries when we breathe, breathing out neutrality, peace, and love. Balancing now all the energies of the self and of the body. Breathing in our boundaries, and breathing out a compassionate neutrality. And as this magic is flowing, and as we are finding our boundaries, we feel ourselves now being encapsulated in a protective orb of power, a crystal ball that fills with the magic, the sweetness, the coziness, the beauty within, and also delineates us from the world and from the energies outside. We see that this crystal ball has many shades and colors. It is amethyst, it is carnelian, it is emerald, it is ruby, it is clear quartz, and it is diamond. It is tiger's eye, and it eventually settles on obsidian. In this orb, we are safe and we are protected. There's never been a feeling that people are after us or that they're speaking against us. Know that in this orb, in this moment, in this equinox, we are in protected, honored, and sacred ceremony space. And knowing that this obsidian orb is there for you whenever you need it. The dark glass now becomes a kind of window to the outside world, as it also becomes a kind of pod or chamber of healing on this great ship that is Earth. This orb is a cave for you to take your respite, to take your break, and a place for you to heal deeply with the autumn equinox. All of us in our orbs creating a kind of Merkaba grid. As within our power grows, our breath now like dragon's breath. As we feel ourselves as one of the many astronauts on the beauty that is this Earth, this beautiful garden of paradise. We are a part of the great mystery, a part of the grand scale of it all. Protected by the great trees, the great plant allies, the great Pachamama, Mother Gaia, Ninhursag, Hathor. And we are in harvest time in this great paradise garden, traveling through the galaxies. As we gather these last harvests, we are coming into the time of the leaves falling and shifting and changing. And so we too, in this equinox, can allow for a shedding of the skins of summer and a welcoming of the new coats of fall and winter. In the garden, we move through space. And in the garden, everything is changing. We are now gathering our wealth, harvesting and taking our abundance. And we are also open to the changes of this garden. We are preparing to move with the natural order of all things. Within our orb, within this garden, within this universe, we acknowledge how far we've made it. Made our way through the losses, through the deaths, through the people who have hurt us. Made our way through hospital journeys. Made our way through the traps that other people have set for us. We are releasing now these experiences, remembering that beauty, that inner beauty that is within us, remembering that heart, that self that we called in. The time for those experiences is now over. It is in the past. It is like the summer closing its door. And there's nothing more in this moment that needs to connect us to those energies. As we are coming upon this equinox point, we must remember that the universe is giving and taking, creating and destroying everywhere, all at once, at all the time. The world is intersectional. Our identities are intersectional. Good Lord. And as we are ending these times behind us, we are also harvesting our accomplishments, our successes, our triumphs. Remembering that there is so much that we have built and will build for our hearts, for ourselves. We are the many things. We are the sun and the moon, the water, the earth, the air, and the fire. We are the rainbow fractals of the visible spectrum. We are fractals of light. We can let go. We can give in. And we can lovingly accept and hold space to be one with the self. I will now begin our group Reiki healing at this time. So if there's anything that you would like some help moving and getting rid of or welcoming in, now is the time to offer it so that I can help you release it. Beginning with a bit of a fire cleanse. Borrowing the energy of the pheasant today, an ancestral friend to many who live or come from the European, African, and Asian continents. Spraying you as well with rose water. Someone would like healing, sending you healing. Also sending sacred sprays. Just do a final quick brushing of your aura before the Reiki begins. To each and every one, these powerful witches, Reiki practitioners, doulas, psychics, readers, medicine people. Wow, the energy is very powerful. Wow, it's amazing. Beginning with this moonstone orb, sending gentleness, sending healing, clarity, softness. Seeing lots of blessings in the chat to others. Welcome. Sending those blessings to you. healing you with lavender lepidolite. Removing what doesn't serve you. Releasing. Releasing grip, releasing tension from all that keeps your candle from burning. Sending you the energy of this Lemurian Starberry Key Quartz. Unlocking doorways within you. Giving you the keys to your own castle. Giving you butterfly wings. Deep third eye opening for each of you. Finally, with the energy of the deer. Sending you healing. And pulling that which does not serve you. Pulling any final threads here. Sending you the energy of Ishtar. Finally, sending you protection of obsidian. Sending any final wounds, issues to this obsidian, right to this center. Well done. Blessing it now with the fire. We clear your energy together. Sending you final smoke here for your own blessings. Fluffing up your aura now to really bring in the love. As if you were kind of like a pillow or a sheet. Just taking all the wrinkles out and just laid really nicely. Fluffy, 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 fluffy. Fluffing the pillows of your good vibes. I mean, I see folks saying, so happy to see you all. So fortunate to be here tonight. So much love to you. Thank you and blessing. Thank you everyone for saying so. Thank you. All right. Take a final breath for this. We will finish this meditation with the understanding that while all the planets are in retrograde, they are moving forwards and backwards. And so too do we. This equinox, as the sun crosses the Earth's equator and directly falls in line, so too do we. All fractals of our spirit are vibrating and harmonizing, tuning in and thumping and dancing, thrumming with the call and response of our body, our earth, our sun, and our great universe. May we gather with us all of our successes and our accomplishments, and remember that we have faced every foe and won thus far. That is the gift of our breath, of our life, and of the great balance that is creation. If we listen, we can feel that contrast and merging at all times. As we are married, truly, purely, with the great many powerful, deep experiences of spirit, always and at all times. We now end this meditation and begin our 5-minute break. Great. Yes, and thank you, production director. If you would like to and you're able to, um, all donations to help this ceremony group space continue to work, continue to grow, would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, if you're new here and you like the work, please consider signing up for my newsletter at preciousthunderwarrior.com. You can put your name in the form submission. Aw, someone says, happy birthday, solar return. Woohoo! Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I said woohoo. If that wasn't clear. But yes, yes. Please stay in touch. We'll be meeting on Sunday as well for the new moon in Libra. And beyond that, we are also doing our Muklu Magic, Babylonian Magic and Wisdom class on October 6th. So that's right around the corner. And if money is the issue, I truly invite you to keep in touch, as we can always work out payment plans. I'm happy to send like a PayPal invoice, and then I think you can cut it in four and stuff like that. I think Eventbrite does that for you. There's many options. So, or if, if you're like, look, I'm a minority, I need a kind of more supported donation space, absolutely. Call me, let me know. But we'll be doing the Babylonian work, working with Ishtar, working with Ninurta and Saturn very soon. So if you're curious at all about the ritual, the witchcraft, the exorcisms, the spirit work, the healing, the medicine work of Babylon, I'm about to post on Instagram the amount of books I've been getting to kind of work on providing that alchemy for everyone, as well as the research that I already had from last year. So it's going to be kind of a Herculean effort, and I really look forward to sharing it with you. All right, let's go ahead and change the music, please. Awesome. I see some folks signing up for the newsletter. Thank you. Please sign up and stay in touch. Oh, I love it. Someone says in the chat, thank you, production director. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate your help as always. Okay. And my notes disappeared because of course they did. Okay. As I said, we might go a little late. We'll see how the experience is. We might not, but we might. Okay, so everyone get in your comfortable position. If you didn't have your crystals, now is the time. We're going to do our ceremony and go into the underworld. I wanted to say this, I forgot to say it in the beginning, so now's the time. I understand if you're afraid, but you don't have to be. I've had messages that they felt that something followed them out on the spring equinox. If that happens, call me immediately, because I'm not calling that to you. And I'm saying that a little more harshly than I should. Nothing will follow you out. I promise you. I promise you. So if something is interesting happening, call me immediately and we'll figure it out. But nothing will follow you, I promise. All right. So let's begin now again with the breath. We'll do 3 breaths to the count of 9. Breathing in 9. And breathing out 9. Breathing in 9. Breathing out 9. One final breath here, gathering again all of our energy and letting it out in one great whoosh. Breathing in 9. And breathing out 9. Let's take a moment and call your guides and your allies, calling in your ancestors, those in their wellness who are willing to help you, the ancients, as well as any helpful grandmothers, grandfathers. or friends or allies in the human realm that you would like to call. Calling in as well your animal friends, cats, dogs, reptiles, birds, fish, your hawks, your eagles, your whales. Calling in the leopards, the tigers, the lions, the wolves, the jackals, the coyotes. And calling in the crocodiles, the snakes, the frogs, the butterflies, the beetles, the ladybugs, the lightning bugs. And the deer and the horses. Calling in as well any of your little people, friends, and allies, your fairies, your elves, your gnomes, your dwarves, your jinn, your Anunnaki, your star beings, calling in your gods, goddesses, finally calling in the 7 directions: the north, the east, the south, the west, the below, the above, and heart at center. I call in my friends and allies, Great Mercury, Great Thoth, Great Hermes, calling in Abu Ninurta, Saturn, Baal, calling in Osiris, calling in Anubis, calling in Sekhmet, calling in Shakti, calling in Ishtar. I now offer my prayer to Ishtar. Sing of the goddess, most awe-inspiring of goddesses. Let the mistress of peoples be praised, the greatest of the Igigi. Sing of Ishtar, most awe-inspiring, Powerful, exalted, fabulous is her status. Can any equal her greatness? She is the one whose standing is greatest among the gods, the Queen of Heaven. Her command is honored, and it prevails over them all. We also give our prayer to Persephone, who will join us tonight as we descend. O Persephone, fairest spring maiden, I praise you. Where you tread, flowers grow and blossom. Where you are, all comes to life. Let your touch make flowers bloom in my heart and in our hearts. Lend us guidance to survive the storm and lead us back to the sunshine of spring. Thank you, great goddess, for the abundance with which you bless us. Noble Persephone, queen of light and dark, fair spring maiden, we honor you and praise your might. And with these goddesses come the flowers, the lions, the owls, and the bulls. We also call in the fathers of the Equinox, Dumuzi, husband of Ishtar, and Hades, husband of Persephone, where we will meet them today. Together now, honoring this land that we live on, that is for many of us stolen. Let us move now across time and space, out of this room, and down, 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 down deep to the gateways of the underworld. We move down corridors and staircases. Our eyes closed, our inner eye sees, as our ancestors and guides surround us all. Sharing the great beauty as we come to these gates of the underworld with many spikes trimmed with gold. And also at this gate is Ishtar, great Queen Mother, Queen of sorcery, magic, and love and war. She offers us now her protection as mother to child. This protector of the Halupu tree offers now to watch over us, so that she may take us below in this time of equinox. She points behind us as we see, coming down these stairs behind us, is Persephone and her great mother Demeter, the earth goddess, the harvest goddess. Persephone, the holy survivor, goddess of death in the lower worlds, goddess of spring and of nature. Finally, Mercury, the psychopomp, comes to also aid us and make sure that we pass through unscathed. When you are ready, you will receive in your hands a key to these gateways. Before us lies the 7 gates. At each in Babylon, Ishtar was asked to leave a part of herself at the doorway. For those who asked for an opportunity to sacrifice, now is your time. Now is your moment. We will pass through each gate, and you will leave something at its doorway. Beginning now along this path, we will enter the first gate together with the key of Hermes. And before we pass, we will leave a part of ourselves, a burden behind. We will continue forth, seeing the world of this first gate. We might see many paths or dark forests, the rivers, mountains in the distance. We will come upon the second gateway, where we will now release another burden in order to pass through. Moving forward, coming upon the third gateway, releasing and passing through. Now coming to the fourth gate, releasing that which we were meant to release, and moving through, moving to the fifth, releasing that which we choose to release, and moving through. Upon coming to the second gate, I invite us all to leave our hearts at this door. And pass through. And at the first and final, or the seventh, I should say, and final, my 6 and my 2s, my 7s and my 1s became reflected in this 7th. May we relinquish all of our earthly selves and anything else that we would wish to leave behind. so that we arrive now in the great kingdom of the underworld and queendom, and to our temple today of this autumn equinox, where we are ushered in by the goddess of death, Ereshkigal, and the god Hades, rulers of the night, keepers of the balance, creators of the winter and the quiet, and keepers of that which ends. People of the great below, and of the final destination from which there is no return. Keep your distance if you would like to, and interact only as close as you would like to with these beings, taking them in now, seeing them in their full glory. We also now see Dumuzi waiting here, god of the shepherds, of the farmers, of those who tend the land. He is so pleased that we are here. And he comes to join our party. Together, these deities of life and death surround us, reminding us that our joy never really ends, but changes and is transmuted. You are now invited for a baptism in the river Styx. As all, especially Ishtar, holds you, cradling you so that you are safe, held in her arms. The waters of the underworld run over you. And as they do, you are with the flow of your consciousness as it moves through these gateways, these openings of the universe. you are reminded that your consciousness is like the river, ever flowing and ever changing, and yet always the very same river, the very same riverbank, and the very same you. Ishtar places your hand where your heart once was, and Persephone does the same, and Dumuzi follows suit. They ignite within your heart an ever-burning candle, a tenfold flame of culmination, of pure happiness and of dream. And as you are baptized in these waters, all that doesn't suit you is dying and floating away, and all that is you is growing and expanding from your new heart. There are flowers and there are reeds, and a new self is growing and blossoming within your skin, around your bones. As Ishtar now leans to whisper in your ear, and she offers you this divine truth. When we were children, we learned our reality from our parents and from those around us, including the lessons that were helpful and unhelpful, including the denials of our truth. When we were children, if we were told no, we were denied. Our memory would shift and try to make space for the denial. We hold within us false memories of those who did not believe our truth, as we chose to accept the opinion of the other rather than the memory of ourselves. And sometimes it was not a choice, but simply the permeable nature of our consciousness, trying to make sense of the world that it experienced. Sometimes we have believed that we were wrong because someone told us that we were wrong, when that was not the truth. But our emotions remember the truth. Our body remembers the truth. We are not beholden, and neither is our consciousness beholden to the falsities of anyone but ourselves, and anything but our divine truth. As these waters wash over us, may we always remember that even at our worst, we did the best with the tools that we had. And we are healing, healing, healing now, healing the times, healing the past, healing the emotions, healing the consciousness that moves through these waters. This baptism is also a cleansing and a bathing. And a re-harmonization and balancing. The wounds are cleared. The emotions are cleared. We are returning again to no mind, nothingness, silence in the realm of the underworld. Our tenfold flame in our hearts burning brighter and brighter in this time of the equinox, our power growing as false narratives are cleansed from us. And we are in this time of the autumn equinox coming closer and closer to our truths. We give love to the self, and we are pulled out of the water, as now these beings together hold us suspended in midair and blessing us, blessing our orb perhaps, if we are still inside of it, with a deep, deep healing of love to our inner child, to our adult self, to the self that is unchanging, to the self that is joy transmuting, to the self that is beloved in all ways. Hermes begins to weave around your head a new crown of leaves and antlers. And he tells you, believe not in the magic as the source of your troubles or your memories, but instead believe that the magic is the solution and the answer and the finding of the power of you. You are in your becoming, and in this moment of harmony, your magic is revealed every day and in every way. And you are defined anew every day. He places this crown upon your head. Persephone comes to you now and offers you her final wisdom as a goodbye. She takes your hands in hers as you are suspended by the love of these gods and goddesses, and invites you to never let your foundation drop, to simply build off of all that you have created, and to create always something new. Make do with all that you have, for what you have and who you are is precious. And Dumuzi places his hands on your feet, offering you new roots to grow with the strength and the foundations you've already created, offering you only more opportunities to grow and remove and be at peace with yourself. Between these gods and goddesses, we are the children of multidimensional, universal love, intergalactic, earthen, underworldly, a complicated and cherishing love, receiving a life and blessings to be filled with moments of love and moments of true spiritual understanding. And the cracks in our spirit are being sealed and filled with golden leaves and crystals and rainbows. As we see, as above, so below, the underworld is the reflection of the heavens. Areshki Gao is the reflection of Ishtar. Dumuzi is the reflection of Hades. Growth and death are a part of our magic, of our cycles, of the turning of the wheel of fortune and medicine. And as the equinox is about to peak at 9:04, may we all be balanced, fully in conjunction with our remembered, our forgotten selves, our beloved selves, our neglected selves. The scales of Thoth and of Libra are righting and balancing, just as the earth and the sun are coming into balance. We reap, we sow, we reap, and we are in all ways beautiful. Every single particle and cell is beautiful. Our minds and our consciousness is one part of these great God consciousnesses. As above, so below, sun and earth are balanced as we, in this underworld, moving towards wintertime, are readying ourselves to dream for the long winter. As above, so below. The great eyes of these gods and goddesses now alight, and they all beam energy directly into us for one final download and upgrade. As we continue to breathe with the dragon's breath, the sphinx's breath, our tenfold flame burning, our third eyes wide open to these upgrades, and any other chakras, our stomach chakras alighting, our root chakras feeling heavy and calm, our sacral chakras releasing emotion and tension, and our throat chakras opening so that our voices are heard. Persephone now takes us and holds us gently, wishing us a final goodbye, drawing upon us a cape of flowers and of gourds and pumpkins and acorns, acorns flowing and flowing from our shoulders. And she wishes you a goodbye, remembering that growth doesn't stop, even if we can't see it. And so Dumuzi joins us. He, Ishtar, and Mercury invite us to say one final goodbye to this land, to this underworld, and receive any final equinox downloads. And now we realize that Persephone has left a key in our hands, and that Dumuzi also offers us one, so that we may unlock these gateways back out and return to this place in this present moment. May we now bring back all that we would like to receive as we move through the gateways once more, or simply leave them behind for good, passing through the 7th gate, and the 6th, and the 5th, and the 4th, and the 3rd, and the 2nd, and the 1st. Together we all climb up the stairs and allow for Dumuzi to see his first rays of moonlight above the ground. In one final embrace, the beings and deities give you all of their love, and when you are ready, you can return to this room and this moment in time with great gratitude for all that you have seen and accomplished, and with love in your heart for the new changes that are coming in this time of changing seasons. May all be left behind. May all be cut and removed that does not serve you. And instead, may a new and peaceful, loving way of being find us at the end of this equinox gateway. Amen.